Hey, this is a daily overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today, let's ask, what is your plan B? Man, I've been driving like all over the place today, right? So I had like 2 prospect meetings today, meeting with an individual and a company that need an app. I've got another meeting tomorrow. I've got quite a few meetings this week, which is uncharacteristic. I prefer just to be in the office all the time, but it's been busy. And I was gonna stop and do the video like out in the countryside someplace and everything, which is nice and scenic, but it just started getting late and dark. But I kept the suit on, right? Trying to show you guys I care, right? Be professional today. So today, what I wanted to talk about was this news article I read last week, and it's a common news story. You hear it all the time, but Marvel Heroes shut down over the last week, and everyone was fired, or they were all being let go right before the holidays, like right before Thanksgiving. Right, because Disney terminated their relationship with Gazillion Game Studios or something like that. I'll include a link to the story down below. I don't know a lot about that company or that game, but I do know what it's like to work in a place where there's been like massive layoffs. Right, I've worked in a lot of companies where, as a contractor, fortunately, where I was kind of outside of what was going on, but where like management will come forward and say they have to lay a bunch of people off, or they have to make them redundant. And a lot of people, they'll be like, they can't get rid of me because they need me for this, whatever. And it's kind of sad to see it happen. I mean, I hate to say this, but for some people like who are real jerks in a company, if you've ever worked someplace where like somebody's just been there for years and they're like just really nasty to everybody else because they considers everyone a newcomer, I don't mind when they lose their jobs. But people who are just starting out and people who work hard, and especially software developers, I hate to see that, because what they're doing is they're putting their faith into, well, not their faith, but they're putting something, they're depending on management or marketers or whatever to be able to take care of their careers. And sometimes people make mistakes. They make mistakes at high level the same way I can make a mistake now and release an app that does nothing, or that does very bad, right? And it made me start to think about plan B, because one of the things when I was working as an employee, when I was working as a contractor, pretty much for like a longest time as a software developer, I'm always thinking about what plan B is going to be, or plan C, or whatever, right? And for a while, when I was just starting out, plan B of course was I'm going to work at a grocery store. Like if I lose this job, I'm going to work at a grocery store, all this kind of stuff. So I've known a lot of people who don't have plan B. Now, I'm an app developer and I release my own apps. I make my own income from the apps, I also do client work, but you know what? This could happen to me too. One of the things I'm always thinking about is that if Google decides to terminate to suspend my account for any reason, right? And by the way, I'm on the straight and narrow. There's no reason they should. But if they did, I would be in the same situation. It would be one day everything's going good. The next day I'm carrying a box out of a building, right? It would be my own office, but whatever. So I'm always thinking about a plan B, right? So plan B is the client work. So making sure that we always have client work just in case the passive income dries up. And you guys have mentioned this in the comments a lot, having multiple streams of income, right? Another thing I always try to do is stay marketable. And this is one of the things I think about. If you're a software developer and you lose your job, one of the best things about it is you're a software developer and you're skilled. I feel bad for people who start off in a company as a software developer and they're working away, they're learning all the different systems, and they might get promoted to project manager or some management level, and they kind of lose those skills, and then they get made redundant. Then I think it's a lot harder for them to find a job when they go on to someplace else, right? That's just my opinion, and when I look at it. So, when I think about my plan B, so plan A, by the way, if passive income is if that's part of your plan, that should always be plan A. Plan A should be passive income, because that's the thing that's going to continue to work, and it's scalable. So you got passive income, then you got active income, so maybe doing client work, maybe working as an employee, something like that, but it's not scalable. You only have so many hours in the day. And then you got, my plan C is probably, go back and get my teaching degree again, or, go back and work at the grocery store, all this kind of stuff. But I'm always thinking about, what can happen, because those poor people who lost their jobs right before Thanksgiving, that could happen to me. It could happen, and by the way, I think it could happen to anybody. So anyway, what's your plan B? Do you have one? By the way, if you're like my age, you probably have one. You probably think about it from time to time. But a lot of times, people who are really like in their early 20s, my experience, but what do I know, right? People in their early 20s might not have that plan B. So I think probably the best thing to do is to keep yourself marketable, which means like when you're learning a new skill, not just thinking about what's the best thing for your app, but also, is this going to be good for the market too, right? It's just, it's one of these things that I think about from time to time when I'm learning a new technology. Like Corona SDK is something we use. I don't think that's a marketable skill. A lot of companies need that skill. Unity is something that it works really well from the gaming perspective, but then also it's C#, it's JavaScript. That kind of helps, that kind of stuff. So this is kind of one of the things I think about, even though I use Corona. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you have a plan B? Is it an irrational fear? Because I don't think it is. I think a lot of us, the economy is always up and down, and who knows what can happen the next day. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to talk to you guys tomorrow.